Hello, welcome back. My name is Awesome Emmanuel, and just to say this before we continue. Actually, I work with the Ambassadors College in Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria, where I teach mathematics, and also privileged to be one of the mathematics teachers that trained students for competitions such like Cowbellpedial TV show, the MAND competition. There's a competition we call SAMC. There's another one Olympiad, and I also train students for Olympiad informatics too. So these are just few things I do at the Ambassadors College. Aside the fact that I'm also a data analyst, but let's just keep that for now while we go into the business of the day. Like I said, my name is Mr. Awesome Emmanuel, and for this lesson today, we'll be considering algebraic expressions and equation. I trust we had a very nice time in the last class, so I look forward to have a better time with us today in this topic. So like I said, algebraic expression and equation. So here we go. So let's just lay some basic foundations before we actually go into the calculation part of the topic. So the first thing I want to just say is factorization or factorizing is defined as a breaking or decomposition of an entity. That is, it could be a number or an algebraic expression. As we continue, I will kindly differentiate between an algebraic expression and an algebraic equation, but just for your knowledge, the difference between these two terms are just the symbol of the equality sign there. So the breaking down of this entity into product of other entity or factors, which when multiplied together give the original entity, this is just what we call factorization. Now let's just build some background, but what we'll be considering, we're breaking this topic into this basic content. The first one will be considering factorization of simple algebraic expression. We'll also consider factorization of quadratic expression, and finally we'll consider algebraic equation. So let's start with the first topic. So factorization of simple algebraic expression. Now let's see something. Now this expression 5 into the bracket 3 minus x, what it means is that 5 multiplied by 3 minus x, or in other words, it means that 3 minus x occurring in 5 places. So when we multiply a bracket by a given number in this manner, it is called multiplying out. That is, we're trying to multiply out the number inside this bracket by 5, or writing out this number in the bracket in 5 places. So, and you know, when we try to expand this out, or this term multiplying out could also mean expanding out. So when we expand this out, 5 into the bracket 3 minus x, it just means 5 times 3, which is 15, then 5 minus x, which is minus 5. So 5 minus x, which is minus 5x. So the answer becomes 15 minus 5x. So let's see some basic example. So we're asked to multiply out 6 into the bracket 2a minus 5. So what it means is 6 times 2a to give 12a, then 6 times 5 to give 30, then you keep the minus sign. So this is just expanding or multiplying out. Now let's see further examples. Now we're asked to expand and simplify this expression. Now whenever there is no equality sign in your given question, what you have is just an algebraic expression. When there is an equality sign there, you know it's an equation. So now in an expression, what you'll be asked to find is to simplify the terms into its simple forms, but in an equation you'll be asked to find the value of the unknown term. So let's continue. So given this question, we're asked to actually simplify. To do that, what we're going to do is this x to multiply minus 2, we'll have minus 2x. Now take note of this second term of the expression. Minus 4 multiplied 4, it gives minus 16. Then minus times minus is plus, very important. Then 4 times x is 4x. So collecting your like terms, or rearranging or grouping as you may call it, plus 4x minus 2x, this is give us 2x, then we'll have minus 16. In other words, we have simplified this expression into a simple form to have something of this nature. Now at times in objective questions, we may not likely see this answer there, that is 2x minus 16. It could be in its factorized form still. So in its factorized form just means, now the common factors of 2x and 16 just 2. So in its factorized form, we can actually see 2 into the bracket x minus 8. The reason is because if we factor 2 out of 16, the product left is actually 8. So 2 times 8 will give us 16. So just take note of that. Now the next question also says we should expand and simplify this. 3 into the bracket minus 2, 3 into the bracket 2 minus y, then minus y into the bracket minus 4. As simple as that as well. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times minus y is minus 3y. Now minus y times minus 4 is is plus 4y. Always take note of the sign whenever you have a multiplication sign. Now simplifying this, I have the 6 minus 3y plus 4y will give us plus 1y, or just y. Now let me just lay this foundation. Now whenever you have to multiply, let's say minus times minus, the answer will give us plus. Minus times plus, the answer will give us minus. Plus times minus, the answer will give us minus. Then plus times plus, the answer will give us plus. How do you know it? I used to tell students, when you have the same sign, the answer will give you a positive sign. When you have different signs, the answer will give you a negative sign. Let me take it again. The same sign, that is minus times minus, I will have a positive sign, so it will give us plus. Plus times plus, the same sign to give us plus. So when you have the same sign, the product of two same signs will give you positive sign. But when you have different sign, plus times minus, the answer will give you minus. Minus times plus, the answer will give you minus. So just take note of that. And okay, I think that we're done with this example number 2. So let's just move forward to see this number. Okay, these further examples. Now this is actually an equation, not an expression. Like I said, when you see an equality sign there, you just know it's an equation. So this is an algebraic equation. So we're asked to, what is the value of x which satisfy this equation? That is 2 into the bracket 3x minus 2, then minus 3 equals to minus 7. So to find the value of x which satisfy this equation just means find the value of the unknown term, which is x. So by way of starting, we can actually expand this. So 2 multiplied by 3x will give us 6x, 2 multiplied by 2 will give us 4, then we'll have this minus 3, then we'll plus 7 by the right hand side. So collecting like terms now, moving our negative term from the left to the right, we have 7 plus 4, because it's minus 4 here. When it comes here, it becomes plus 4, then minus 3 comes here, it becomes plus 3. 7 plus 4 plus 3 will give us 14. So 6x equals to 14. So to get the value of the unknown, which is x, 14 divided by 6, 2 always reduce to lowest term. 2 in 14 is 7, and 2 in 6 is 3. So our answer in improper fraction will give us 2 whole number 1 over 3. I think there was a mistake here, so let's correct it out. So the answer will give us 2 whole number 1 over 3. I think that is that. So let's actually return. So that is for the first one, 2 whole number 1 over 3. Control X to save. Now the next thing to do is, now the next question actually says, when p is equals to 6, we should evaluate this. That is, evaluate the value of this. Now when p is equals to 6, what it just means, we have to substitute. But take note, we have two unknown terms here, that is p and r, but we're only giving one value of the unknown, which is p. So we just substitute for p and we'll leave our answer in terms of r. So if we keep p here, so this will give us 4 times 6, because we're told that p is 6, into the bracket 6 plus r over pr over that is over 6r. Now 6 cancel this 6. All we have remaining is 4 into the bracket 6 plus r over r. This will be our answer. So we're asked to simplify this. Given that the value of p is 6, the answer will be 4 into the bracket 6 plus r, all divided by r. I trust we're making progress. So that is just the basic thing when we come to factorizing algebraic expression. When you want to simplify them, you either open your bracket and you simplify them basically. So the next thing is how to actually find the HCF of algebraic expression. It's actually very simple. Now the method of finding the highest common factor of algebraic expression is similar to that of whole numbers. It's also similar to that of whole numbers. Now let's look at this question. I'll be giving us very quick, because the competition you will be going for will also be testing your speed. So we're going to find a very short way of actually getting our answers. So let's do the same thing here. Now the sample questions we have on the screen is telling us find the HCF of 4ab cubed and 2a squared b squared. Now this is how to solve problems like this in split of seconds. When you want to find the HCF of this kind of term, what you do, you consider the numbers first. We have 2 and 4. Now you ask yourself, what is the HCF of 2 and 4? Obviously the answer is 2. Now look at the terms. A b cube on the one side and a squared b squared on the other side. So I'll look for the highest common factor of these letters. So a and a squared, I can't have a square. I don't have a square in the first term, that is in this term. I don't have a square here, then I have a square here. So the highest common factor of the a is just ordinary a. I have b cube here and I have b square here. So the highest common factor of the b's there is just b square. So my answer will be 2ab square. You don't need to use table form to solve this kind of problem, especially when you're in a competition setting. You just have to use some basic tricks to know what to do. So let's see our answer. The first answer is 2ab square. Now let's do the same thing to this number 2. Find the HCF of 32x cubed z cubed and 12x z square. Now look at the numbers 32 and 12. Now you ask yourself, what is the highest common factor of those two numbers? I trust we understand the concept of common factors, or first of all the concept of factors. Now let me just do a very quick recap. If I say factors of 12, if I say factors of 12, the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. How do I get that? To get the factors of 12, to get all the factors of 12, what we're going to do is just simple. Just start from the beginning. 1 is a factor of all numbers, either a whole number or an algebraic term. So 1 times 12 will give us 12. I'll look for the product of two numbers such that such that the product gives 12. Now the first one are 1 and 12 because 1 times 12 is 12. The second one is 2 and 6 because 2 times 6 is 12. The third one is 3 and 4 because 3 times 4 is 12. And I can't actually get any other two factors again which products will give 12. So the pairs now are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So these are all the factors of 12. The same thing applies to 32. So for this 32 and 12 now, what is the highest common factor of 32 and 12? I will observe that 1 can go in both of them, 2 can go in both of them. Now 3 cannot go in 32, but I'll check for 4. 4 can go in 12. And also I'll ask myself, can 4 go in 32? If I'm correct, yes. Okay, since 4 can go in 32, that is 4. 5 can no longer go again, so I'll just stop there. Now because 6 can also go in 32, so 4 is the highest common factor of 32 and 12. Now I'll come to the letters. I have s cubed here, and I have x here. So the highest common of the x is just x. Then I have z cubed here and I have z square here. So the highest common for the z is z square. So my answer will be 4xz square. So let's check 4xz square. Having laid this foundation, let's just attempt the number 3, 4, and 5. With split of second, you should know the answer. 15 and 25, the highest common factor there should be 5. X cubed y, ax y. A is not common in both of them, so I know A cannot be my answer. X and y is there, so I know my answer should be 5xy. The same thing for number 4, 15xy and 5x squared. The answer should be, then looking at it, 5 and 15, the common factor there is 5. Then I have 5x. Y is not common in 5x squared, so I will have 5x. The number 5, that is the fifth one, 4a cubed, then I have 4ab cubed, then 5a squared b squared. Now when you see two numbers that they don't have any common factor, nothing is going in both of them, just know that 1 is the highest common factor. Like I said, 1 is a common factor of any two or more numbers. So between 4 and 5, there is no common factor as it were, so we'll take it as 1. So since 1 is a common factor, which appears to be highest common factor, we'll just take 1 there. Then we'll look at a on the left hand side, ab cubed, then a squared b squared. So what is common there is just ab squared. So the answer is ab squared. So you just have to get the HCF of algebraic expression in split of seconds. You don't need to use the table form to get your answer here. Just use basic knowledge of common factors and you get the basic answer. So now let's also see this particular topic again. Factorizing by taking out common factors. How do we do that? It's quite simple. Look at this example. I have 5a minus 5z. How do we factorize? To factorize this kind of question, you pull out the highest common factor from the terms in the expression. Now, what I mean by the terms, this is first term, this is the second term. So this is also a term, this is a term, this is a term, this is a term. Like this question number 5 have 3 terms, this term, this terms, and this term. So from these 2 terms, you factor out, you look at the terms, you now pull out the highest common factor. So for the first one, the highest common factor of 5a and 5z is 5. 5 is common to the both terms. So I'll pull 5 out. When I pull 5 out, what actually remains is a and z. So this gives me 5 into the bracket a minus z. I'll factorize this out. So we use the concept of highest common factor to actually factorize some algebraic expression. The same thing applies to number 2. I have x squared and 4xy. What you do, you ask yourself, what is the HCF of these 2 terms? The HCF of these 2 terms is x. So I'll pull x out. If I pull x out, what remains on the first term is x, then the second term will just 4y. So this is the factorized form. The same thing applies to this. Then I'll look for the HCF of these 2 terms. This is 18 and 81. Obviously, the highest common factor of 18 and 81 is 9. So, but I'll look for the x. This is x cubed. This is s squared rather, and this is x cubed. So to get the highest common factor of x squared and s cubed is x squared. So I'll be able to pull out 9x squared. So what will be left here for the first one? If I pull out 9x squared, what will be left is 2. Then for the second one, if I pull out 9x squared, what will be left to be 9x. Such that if you observe, if we multiply this, if we expand this now, 9x squared times 2 will get 18x squared. Then 9x squared times 9 will have 81x cubed. So that's just how to factorize. Now look at the last the number 4. What is common here between 9 and 15 is 3. So, and between their letters nothing is common, so just the number. So pull 3 out. We'll have 3 into the bracket, 3f minus 5j. Now let me give you a few seconds. What do you think will be the answer to number 5? I'm giving you, let's say, 5 seconds. Let me check my time. Okay, 5 seconds. What will be the answer for number 5? Okay, was this your answer? 4mn into the bracket 3n minus 4m plus 7mn. That is your answer. Then thumbs up for you. Now let's actually see it together. Now we have 12, we have 16, and we have 24. We'll look for the highest common factor of these numbers, and the highest common factor is 4. Now we'll look for the letters. Mn square, m square n, m square n square. What is actually common there is mn. So if we factor 4mn out from the first term, what will remain is 3n. We'll factor 4mn out from the second term, what is left is 4m. Then we'll factor 4mn out from the third term, what is left is 7mn. So this is actually how to factorize. You use the concept of highest common factor to actually factorize. Now let us see how do we use this concept in values when you're giving values, this time around not algebraic terms. So factorization can also be used in simplifying problems with common factors. You see this kind of question sometimes in competitions, and there appears to always be the first kind of question, the simple one. Now let's see the first one. Here we'll have 118 multiplied by 107 minus 18 multiplied by 107. So the common factor here is actually 107. So if we factor 107 out, now look at it, factor 107 out, what is left is 118 minus 18. So 118 minus 18 is 100, and 100 multiplied by 107 is 100 multiplied by 107 is 10700. I think that was not also correct. 107. Let me correct that. 10700. Okay, yeah, 1070. So that is the first. That's the first one. Now the second one too. Second one, 199 multiplied by 19, then plus 19. What is common actually between these guys is 19. So if I bring out 19 out, and if I bring out 19, what I'll be left at the first place is 199. Then multiply. I'll have 1 here, because 199 multiplied by this, I will get this. The 199 multiplied by 1, I'll have 19. So 19 multiplied by 199, I will have this back. Then 19 multiplied by 1, I get 19 back. So 19 plus 1 will give us 200, and 200 multiply it by 3 will give. Now what you need to do in this case is you just multiply 2 by 2 by 19. If you multiply 2 multiplied by 19, the answer we're going to get is 38, then with the two zeros. So now let's continue. Now that's the second one. The third one is this. Now what is common here is 91, so we'll bring the common factors out. So 91 is out. We'll have 237, then add to the 76263. 76263, yeah. So by adding this and this, we'll have this value. So what you just need to do, just multiply 91 by 765, we'll have 6961, then 500. As simple as that. So you can also have something in fraction too. So what is common here is 2 over 3. If we bring out 2 over 3 out, what we left is 189 plus 111. 189 plus 111 will give us 400. 189 plus 111. Let's check this together. Is it 400? 189, because 9 plus this. Okay, yeah, I think there was an error there. 189 plus 111. Think it's not 400. The answer should be 300. Yeah, 300. So 300. So if we keep 300 here, then this 3 cancel this 3. What I have left is 100. 2 times 100 will give me 2 times 100 will give me 2 times 100 will give me 200. So let me just correct that. 200. Now the next one I'm going to do is the last one. I'm saving, just give me some few seconds. I'll come to the slideshow mode now. Now the last one is just let's ignore this last part. That was an error from the last. Okay, now the last question is this. Now what is common here is 39 and 39 square. What we'll have, factor out 39, so we'll have 139 minus 39, which is 100. 100 multiplied by 39 will have 3900. So that is just how to actually factorize when it involves whole numbers. So far we've been able to consider factorization, simplifying them, highest common factor. Now I think it's a time for us to have some simple quiz. And this question, I'll be giving you some questions that last for 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, if you understand the way we did in the last class, the question will go away and I'll see your answer. So you have your questions here. Factorize AB plus CD plus AC plus BD. Now your time starts now. Factorize. You have 20 seconds to do this. Try as much as possible to work with your time. You have 20 seconds to do this. Time's up. Was this your answer? Okay, let's solve it together. Now, solving it together, what we have is this. When we have AB plus CD plus AC plus BD, at times when you want to factorize, you just use your common knowledge by grouping like something that looks like terms together. Now I have A, B, and I have AC. If I group them together, it makes more sense. I have CD plus BD. Grouping them together makes more sense. So from this AB and AC, what is actually common is A. So what is left is B plus C. Now from this CD and BD, what is actually common is D. So what is left is B plus C as well. So observe something. You will C here before B. So you can either I choose to say C plus B or B plus C, still the same thing. But the reason why I choose to put B plus C is so that I can actually have similar terms in the bracket, B plus C, B plus C. So since B plus C is common in the bracket, what I will do, the one after the bracket, I will factorize them out. So I have A plus, I have a plus sign here, plus D, then I'll just pick one of the bracket. So this is just how to factorize it. If you get it, thumbs up for you. Now let's see the second question. You have 20 seconds to use your question. Simplify 21xy plus 5mn minus 8xy minus 5mn. and your time starts now. Time's up. Okay, let's see the answer. Was this your answer, 13xy? If you get the answer, thumbs up. Now, don't be bothered if you are not able to meet up with the timing. Like I said, the essence of this class is to train you both on the content of the topic and also to enable to train you in terms of speed. So speed is also quite important. It's part of the competition. So if you're not really making it up within the time frame, there's no need to worry yourself. Just do more of practice, and when you practice you see a lot of number of skills to do to apply to actually solve problems in split of seconds. So let's solve this together. So from the previous example you will understand that we just have to group these things together. So I have 21xy, then now we have this minus 8xy. Let's bring it there. So this 5mn and minus 5mn, these guys cancelled out already, so what remains is 21xy minus 8xy. So our answer gives us 13xy. If you get that, thumbs up for you again. Then number 3, there's a question. So factorize 5ha minus nb minus 5ha plus hb. The time starts now. Time's up. Okay. Was this your answer? If you get this, then thumbs up for you. Now let's see it together. Now we have 5ha, then minus nb minus 5ha plus hb. Now if we group together, we have 5ha minus 5ha, then we have plus hb minus nb. If these cancel out because they're actually the same, what we have left is hb minus nb. What is common there is b, so what is left in the bracket is h minus n. If you get that as well, thumbs up for you. Now the next question is number 4. Factorize hw plus kz minus kw minus hz. I would like you to take your time to solve this question because it's something you're gonna need to know. Okay, the time starts now. Time's up. Okay, now let's see. What is your answer? W minus z into bracket h minus k. I guess majority may not be able to get this, except if you are smart. Now I want to just teach something. I want you to know something from here. Now this is actually the question, so we group again. So we have hw minus kw. I'm trying to group something that actually looks common, then plus kz. Now plus kz minus hz. Now w is common here. I'll factor out w, so I'll have h minus k. Then what is common here is z. Now if I factor out z, what I have left is k minus h. But take note, at this point, this term in the bracket and this are not the same. So in order to make them the same, I'll have to alter them by changing h minus k. Now take note, h is actually negative and I'm bringing it here in the bracket and making it positive. K is positive and I'm bringing it here to be negative. If I'm to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this positive sign to negative. In this case now, observe this and this are the same, but now let's see if this step will give us this step back. Observe something. From this step, plus z times k will give us positive zk. Let's check if we have positive zk. Minus z times minus k will give us positive zk. We're correct. So from this step, plus z multiplied minus h will give us minus hz. The same thing happens here. Minus z times this will give us minus hz. So we're actually correct. So take note of this kind of problem. Next time we are not having the same term in the bracket, swap these guys up. When you swap them, change the sign in between, change the sign when you have the sign you have here. So that is actually how to get the job done. At this point we have this and this the same, so we'll factor them out by just writing the outside bracket, guys. That is w minus z, which is this, then we'll have h minus k to get our answer. If you get that as well, thumbs up for you. So I think we have the last number 5 questions before we actually make progress. Now we have xy minus 1 minus y plus x. Now you have 20 seconds to do this, and your time starts now. Time's up. Okay, now let's see. Was your answer y plus 1 into bracket x minus 1? If you get that, thumbs up for you again. Now let's see something. We have xy minus 1, then minus y plus x. So we're going to do just group something similar. We have xy minus y, then we'll have plus x minus 1. What is common here is y, so we'll have x minus 1. Now we just factor 1 here from here, so we'll still have x minus 1. So we'll have y plus 1, then we'll have x minus 1, so to give us our answer. So I trust we have been able to get ourselves familiarized with the concept of factorization of algebraic expression and also how to simplify algebraic expression. So that brings us to the end of the first content of our lesson. Now let's come to the second part, which is actually factorization of quadratic expression. Now, this topic reminds me when I was in GS3 so many years ago in the city of Abuja. Okay, let's actually make progress. The reason why I say it reminds me because I remember the teacher that taught me this topic. His name is Mr. Alex. Okay, now let's continue. Now, expansion of algebraic expression. In this case, to want to actually see as it relates to quadratic terms. So this is basically the opposite of factorization by grouping like terms. For instance, to multiply a plus b and c plus d, each term in the first bracket is used to multiply the terms in the second bracket. So we know that already. Now, look at this first question. Let's simplify this. These are sample questions from Calvapedia, and I trust we are familiarized with how Calvapedia runs their questions. So let's see the first one. Now, this is the first question, so let's solve them one after the other. When looking at something like this, something should come to your mind as a student preparing for competition. And what should come to your mind? If you had to tell me what is coming to your mind, what could that be? Is it difference of 2 square? If you actually get that, then you are correct. Difference of 2 square should have come to your mind, because whenever you see the same terms with just a difference of plus and minus in between them, then what I mean, both of 2 terms with what they have in between, just plus and minus, what should come to your mind is difference of 2 square. And what is actually difference of 2 square? We have this mathematical statement that actually says when we have n square minus m square, it mustn't be m and n, it could be any letters of the alphabet. So the answer will give us n plus m into the bracket n minus m. You can actually start with any one, either n minus m or n plus m, whichever. So whenever you see something of this nature, always recall difference of 2 square. So to expand this, I will not just waste my time trying to use this n square to multiply this. No, we use the concept of 2 square. I'll get something of this nature. Now, this is my answer. Now the questions actually say we should expand. I just see the question here. I was thinking it's simplify. So if it's to expand, I want to teach us a very short method of expanding. Just follow me. I will write it on the screen, but just follow me. When you're asked to expand something of this nature, when something is in square, the first method is this n square multiplied by itself. It will give you n raised to power 4. Then, when there is a minus sign here, when you have a minus sign here, what you always do, you keep you keep the minus sign first. Now this m square multiplied by itself, you have m raised to power 4. Now n square multiplied by m square is n square m square. Then I will multiply it by 2. I'll have 2n square m square. So the answer to this question now will now be n square. Now if you have a minus sign here, what you're going to do, put minus. I have n square minus 2n square m square, then plus m raised to power 4. How I mean is, actually, let's come to this. I want to just solve it on the screen. What we're going to do is actually simple. So since I want to actually simplify this, what I'll do is this. I'll just copy this. Okay, just follow me. I'll say the answer, it will be equals to, the answer will be equals to n raised to power 4, then plus 2 n raised to power of 2, that is n raised to power of 2. Just give me some time. Let's hold on while it loads. Okay, n raised to power of 2, m raised to power of 2, then minus. I said minus. I'll change it to minus later on. Then the next one I will have is plus m raised to the power of 4. So this is our answer. We'll just change this guy to let's change this guy to minus. So this is our answer. So we have actually expanded that. So in expansion we have this. So we have this. So let's look at the second one again. We want to expand this. So n times n. So we'll use this n to multiply n minus 5, and we'll use this 6 to also multiply n minus 5. So this times this will give us n squared, this times this will give us 5n, this times this will give us 6n, while this times will give us 30. So minus 5n plus this will give us plus n, we'll have 30 there. So the next one too, we have a into the bracket this. So this first a will multiply these guys in the bracket, which is this, and this 3b will multiply the same thing in the bracket. So a times a square, we have a times a is a square, a times b, this is plus, this is plus, this should be plus ab, this is plus 4ab, not minus, plus 4ab, plus 4ab. Then the next one, then 3b times this is plus 3ab, then 3b times this is plus 12b square. So if I simplify this plus this, now my answer should give me 7ab plus 7ab plus 7ab. Okay, plus 7ab. I think that should be the answer. So if we want to actually arrange them with all the squares, so to be plus 7ab. Now the next one is actually some classwork for you to solve. Now let me give you some time to actually solve this. When you are done, we're actually going to progress. Now you can actually take, let me give you 2 minutes to solve this problem. Okay, to just save time, the answer will be x squared plus 3x minus 28. And the second one will be 9x squared plus 3xz minus z squared. So let's come to the next term, which is actually coefficients of m. Now, coefficient just means the number before a letter in an algebraic expression or an equation is called its coefficients. So in this question, what are the coefficients of xy? what is the coefficient of xy? The number beside it, or what multiply xy? You always take it with a sign. I tell students, always take it with a sign. The coefficient is minus 2a, minus 2. So that is the answer, minus 2. The second one, what's the coefficient of x in this expression? What we have there is plus 6. Because what is multiplied by x is plus 6. So the answer is plus 6. What's the coefficient of x squared here? The answer is minus 3. What's the coefficient of tx here? In this case, you have to expand this. Now, when you see t minus x, then you see t plus x. What comes to our mind is difference of 2 squared. So when we use difference of 2 squared, we have t squared minus x squared. It means we actually does not have a term where we have tx here. So the coefficient of tx is 0. And the last one, the coefficient of x in this expression is minus 1. So that's that about coefficients. The next one is actually factorization of quadratic equation. How do we factorize? Now look at how we factorize. I will explain. To factorize is quite simple. So when we have x squared minus 5x then plus 6, what we're going to do is, now we'll look for the so-called product and sum. Now the term we have here is just 1. So 1 times 6 is 6. We'll look for two numbers so that when we multiply them together, we'll have plus 6. Then when we add them up or we simplify them up, we'll have minus 5. And the two numbers, just look for the factors of 6. Now, the two numbers is actually minus 3 and minus 2. Because minus 3 and minus 2 give us minus 5, but minus 3 times minus 2 is plus 6. So, we'll use this minus 3x minus 2x to replace 5x. So for these two terms, what is common here is x, so we'll have x minus 3. For these other terms, what is common here is 2. The common factor is 2, so we'll have x minus 3. So what we'll have on this bracket and this is the same, so we'll just pick the outside guys, which is x minus 2, and we'll have x minus 3. So this is the answer when we factorize. Now the next one is number 2. Sorry, I didn't solve number 2 because they're actually similar, so let's go to number 3. The same thing. The number we have here is actually 1. So 1 times 64 is 64. I'll look for two numbers so that when I multiply them together, I have plus 64. Then when I add them up or simplify them up, I'll have minus 16. So the numbers are minus 8 and minus 8. Minus 8 minus 8 will give us minus 16x, but minus 8 times minus 8 is plus 64. So for these two terms, what is common is x. So we'll have x into the bracket x minus 8. Then for here, what is common is actually is 8. So 8 into the bracket x minus 8. We have similar terms in the bracket. So we'll have, pick the outside one, x minus 8. And one of the brackets will have x minus 8. So the answer will give us x minus 8 twice. Now, that is question number 3. Question number 5. I didn't solve 4 because they were actually similar. Now, question number 5 is this: m squared plus 7m minus 18. What we're going to do is, now we'll do the same thing. This is minus 18. What the number here is actually 1. Take note, the number here was 1. So 1 times 18 is still minus 18. So we'll look for two numbers so that when we multiply them together, we'll have minus 18. Then we'll add them up or we'll simplify them, we'll have plus 7. So the numbers, checking the factors of 18 are 9 and 2. So plus 9 and minus 2. Because 9 minus 2 will give us plus 7. Then 9 times minus 2 will give us minus 18. So for these two terms, what is common is m. So we have m into the bracket m plus 9. Then for this term, what is common here is minus 2. So minus 2 into the bracket m plus 9. Observe, all I have in this bracket and this will always give you the same thing. So now, when I say always, is because if the question is factorizable, it will always give you the same thing. But when the question is not factorizable, it will not. But since the question is asking us to factorize, it means it should give you the same thing. So m plus 9 is common, so pick the outside bracket, outside term, which is m minus 2. So just pick m minus 2, then we'll pick one of these brackets, m minus 9. So that is just the answer. Then you have this classwork. So I'm going to give you like, let me give you 2 minutes to solve the classwork. So your time starts now. I didn't include the timer here. Skip my mind. You should just put 2 minutes to solve this question. Your time start now. From my time, since you're done, you have spent 1 minute from my own time. Okay, get ready to stop. Time is up. I trust your answer is x plus 2 into bracket x plus 3, and if you get that, you're actually correct. So that brings us to the next topic we have, which is actually perfect squares. Now, when any term or expression multiply itself, the resulting term is called a perfect square. For instance, we know simple perfect squares are 1, 4, 9, 81, 90 squared is a perfect square, and all that are example of perfect square. Now, are examples of perfect square terms, while expression like a plus b all squared, which will give us a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, these are all perfect square. Now, I was explaining something the last time, and let me explain it again. If you're asked to multiply something like this, the shortcut without opening two brackets like we're taught in grade 7 and grade 8, we use grade in my school, so grade 7 just 1 or just 2. So the short way to do that is this. Let me repeat it again. So what you do is, we have a plus b all squared, so you multiply a by itself. A times a is a squared, so I'll have a squared. Then b times b is b squared, I now have b squared. Now always put a plus. Then if the question is plus, what you have, I'll put my plus here, but if the question is minus, I'll put minus here. Then after I've done a times a squared, b times b squared, I'll multiply a times b is ab, then multiply by 2, I have 2ab. So the answer will be a squared plus, because it's a plus here, plus 2ab plus b squared. But if we have a minus, the shortcut a times a squared, b times b squared, then a times b is ab, then only multiply by 2, I have 2ab, then put a minus here. When the question is minus, put minus. When the question is plus here, you put plus here. But all we have here, we always have a square and then plus b square. That is just how the shortcut to multiply or to expand things. But let's see this perfect square as it relates to quadratic expression. Now let's see the first one. I will not be solving everything, I will just solve some, but I think I solved 1, 2 and 5. Then you solve 3, you can solve 3 and 4 on your own. So let's see the first one. So for the first one, I have x squared plus 6x plus 9. So like I've been explaining, the terms we have here is actually 1. So 1 times 9 is 9. Always take note of that. So I'll look for two numbers that multiply to give me 9. Then when they simplify, they give me 6x. So the numbers are 3 and 3. So I'll use that 3 and 3 in place of 6. So I have x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 3 plus 9. So what is common here is x. So into the bracket x plus 3. And what is common here is 3 into the bracket x plus 3. Now what you have here and here is common, so we'll just pick the outside one. X plus 3. Then we'll have another x plus 3. So definitely it's going to give us a square, because these are perfect square expression. So x plus 3 will give us x plus 3 all squared. Now if you follow that method I just taught you how to expand, look at it here. Let's see if it works. X times x squared, always put a plus. 3 times 3, 9. X times 3, 3x times 2 again, 6x. So it actually works. So now I solved the number 1 and the number 5. Now I've been able to understand how to actually solve quadratic expressions so far, but all the terms we've actually been using are just the one that have where the other two term, what I mean by other two, the one with the square, when the other two term is 1, but in this case we have 4. So what we're going to do is this. We'll say 4 times 1, 2, 1. The answer will give us 4, 8, 4. Now, I'll look for two numbers such that when I multiply them together, I'll have 484. Or when I simplify them, I'll have minus 44. I'll take it again. I'll look for two numbers so that when I multiply them together, I have 484. Then when I add them up, I have minus 44. The numbers are actually minus 22 and minus 22. The reason is because minus 22 times minus 22 will give us 484. Then minus 22 minus 22 will give us minus 48. So that is the answer. So between these two terms, what is actually common? The highest common factor is 2b. So if I factorize 2b, what I have is 2b plus 11. What I have here, the highest common factor is 11. What will be left in the bracket is 2b plus 11. So I have 2b plus 11 outside, bring it into this bracket, then pick one of this bracket, 2b plus 11. So they'll always give me the same term because I'm actually working with perfect squares here. So I have 2b plus 11 all squared. Now, there's something, yeah, there's a mistake. The reason why I was able to note the mistake was because I just remember I taught you guys the fast way to get something expanded. And like I said, when the question is positive, everything will be positive. But when the question is negative, this place will be negative, but it will be positive. When I was seeing my answer is 2b plus 11 all squared. And I just saw the question and I discovered, there's a minus sign here. I discovered I made a mistake. And where was the mistake from? If you can notify it, you'll observe that the mistake actually came from this point. Now, why? And also from this point. Now, let's actually sort that out. That is how to actually gain mastery. So, you should have been minus, and here should have been minus, and here should have been minus. So that we'll keep the outside ones, which is this, we'll pick the inside one, which is this, and the answer will give us minus. So this is actually the correct answer. So thank you very much. This is the answer for number 5. So as it is now, I trust we can solve number. I just choose to solve the first one and the last one. I trust we can solve 2, 3, and 4. You can pause the video, then solve 2, 3, and 4. Then you continue subsequently. Okay. Now that is that. Now let's actually come to the last part of this lesson. We have seen factorization, simplifying, we're also seeing quadratic expressions and all that. So let's see algebraic equations. So like I said, the difference between an expression and an equation is the sign of the equality symbol. So an equation is a statement that asserts the equality of two expressions which are connected by the equality signs. An expression is a combination of a variable and a value. For instance, 3y is an expression. That is 3 is the value and y is the variable. So 3y is an expression. Now let's solve some problems. Now the first one is asked to solve this equation. 3x plus 7 equals to minus 5. What we're going to do is just collect like them. So minus 5 plus 7 comes to become minus 7. Minus 5 minus 7 is minus 12. So to get our x now, divide both sides by 3. So minus 12 by 3 will give us minus 4. So minus 4 is the answer. Solving number 2, solve this problem. What we're going to do is expand this bracket. 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is 6. Then this plus this 2, then it gives 12. So what we're going to do is 6 plus 2 rather is 8. So take it to the other side, it comes to minus 8. So 12 minus 8 is 4. 2x equals to 4. So x is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So to solve this one, what we're going to do is we'll just cross multiply. 8 times x is 8x. Then 5 times 32 is 160. So to get the value of x now, we'll divide both sides by 8. So 160 divided by 8 is 20. So that's just how to solve them. Then let's look at this number 4. The question says, if the product of 1/5 and x plus 6 is 4, find the value of x. So we'll keep it in equation form. Product of 1/5, it's supposed to be 1 it's supposed to be half rather, not 1/5. Half. So let me just change the equation. If the product of half and x plus 6 is 4, find the value of x. So half multiplied by x plus 6 equals to 4. So what we're going to do, we're going to clear this fraction. This 2 multiplied by this 4 to give 8. So what we'll have is x plus 6 equals to 8. So x will be equals to 8 minus 6. Then you just take this like them, bring this guy here, becomes 2. So the value of x is 2. Now let's see this one. 13 times a certain number is 156. Find the number. So let the number be x. So 13 times s gives 156. So the x now, that is the number, is 156 over 13, which gives 12. Number 6. When 3 is added to x, this x was standing on its own, then 3 was added, the result is 5. Then you give equals to 5. Find the value. So we'll have x equals to 5 minus 3, which is 2. Hence the value is 2. X is 2. Oluchi thinks of a number and divides it by 6. If the result is 42, find the number. She takes of a number and divides it by 6. If the result is 42, find the number. So let the number be x. So she thinks of this number and divides it by 6. That is x divided by 6, and the result is 42 equals to 42. So we can multiply 42 times 6 is 256. So the number Oluchi was actually thinking of was 256. Now look at this question number 8. I love this question because it's actually simple, but many a times students normally make mistakes. But let's see it together. But how to solve this equation? When you have this kind of algebraic fraction, what you do is you clear the fraction by multiplying each term by the LCM of the denominator. Now, the LCM of 2, 3, and 4 is 12. So we'll multiply each term by 12. So 12 multiplied by the first term here, then 12 multiplied by the second term, then 12 multiplied by the third term. 2 here 1, 2 here 6. So we'll have 6 multiplied by x plus 2. 3 here 1, 3 here 4. We'll have 4 multiplied by x minus 1. 4 here 1, 4 here 3. We'll have 3 multiplied by x. So if we open this bracket now, 6 times x is 6x, 6 times 2 is 12, then minus 4 times x is minus 4x, minus 4 times minus 1 is plus 4, then we'll have 3 times s is 3x. So we'll collect like terms. Keep this 3x by the right. Now this minus 4x, bring it here, becomes plus 4x. This plus 6s, bring it here, become minus 6x. So 3x plus this is 7. 7 minus 6x is x. So what we'll have remaining is just 16. So it means x is equal to 16. Okay, how do we get a 16? 12 plus 4, 16. Okay, and that is that. Number 9. If a plus 10 equals to 19, what's the value of a minus 10? The first thing you do, you have to find the value of a first. So to get the value of a plus 10 equals to 19. So a will be 19 minus 10, which is 9. So a is 9. So to find the value of a minus 10, so it will be 9 minus 10. And 9 minus 10 is minus 1. Number 10, find the value of y in the equation 4y plus 6 equals to 5y minus 8. So what we're going to do, just take like terms. We'll keep 6 by the left and bring minus 8 to it, becomes 6 plus 8. Then this is 5y by the right, then takes the 4y from the left to this point, we'll have minus 4y. So 5y minus 4y is just y. 6 plus 8 is 14, so y is equals to 14. Now, quick quiz. I trust you have been enjoying this class so far. You can actually grab a bottle of drink just to catch your breath. If you observe, I have mine with me. You can actually have something with you just to enjoy yourself. You're actually free to do that. Okay, let's continue. Quick quiz. You have 5 seconds to answer these questions. Like I said, I'm trying to train you to understand the topic and also to gain speed. So 5 seconds. Are you ready? Then let's make progress. Now, question number 1. Find the coefficients of xy in the expansion of 5x plus 2y into the bracket 4x minus 3y. And your time starts now. Time's up. And you'll be shocked. Ah, Mr. Awesome, how can we solve this kind of problem under 5 seconds? I'll go back again. First of all, what is even your answer? Now, I won't tell us the answer, I'll just show us the trick. What I'm looking for is the coefficients of xy. So I have no problem with 5x multiplied by 4x, because that will give me x squared. So what I just need, I will use my, for this first term, I will use this 5x to multiply the y, because I'm looking for xy. Then I will use this 2y to multiply the x. So 5x times 3y will give me minus 15xy. I'll keep it. 2y multiplied by 4x, I'll have 8xy. So minus 15xy plus 8xy. If I simplify that, I'll have minus 15xy, then plus 8xy, I'll have minus 7xy. So the coefficients of xy is minus 7, and the answer is C. So do you understand how to solve this in 5 seconds? Just work with what you need. 5x and 3y minus 15xy, 2y and 4x, 8xy. So you simplify them, you have that answer. Okay, so we're done with the first one. Number 2, simplify this. 8a minus 2 into the bracket 2a plus 1, and your time starts now. Time's up. How do we solve that in 5 seconds? Quite simple. What I'm going to do is minus 2a, minus 2 times this, I have minus 6a. Now, minus 6a, 8 minus 6a is 2a. I will neglect all this nonsense option that don't start with 2a. This is cancelled out. In short, this is my answer. Because since I know 2a is starting it already, I'll knock out this and this. Then, fortunately, this is 6a. This is not the answer. So, when that is done, minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. So, this is the answer. That is how to solve question in 5 seconds. Now, let's see the next one. Okay. Yeah, number 3. If a equals to x and b equals to y, and xy equals to 0, then which of the following is true? Your time starts now. I guess you are actually solving the question before my timer starts. Okay, time's up. I was too fast. Okay, sorry. Let me take it again. Okay, let me just do like Mr. Oscar in Carbopedia TV quiz. If a equals to x and b equals to y and xy equals to 0, then which of the following is true? Option A equals to 0. Option B, a equals to 0 and b equals to 0. Option C, b equals to 0. And option D, a equals to 0 or b equals to 0. Your time starts now. Time's up. Okay, then now what is your answer? Now let's look at it together. Now, if a is equals to x and b equals to y and xy equals to 0, which of this is true? Now, if we say a is equals to 0, now let's observe something. If a equals to 0, it means x2 is equals to 0. Then, but we don't know the value of b and y. So let's just come to this place. If x is 0, 0 times whatever y is could actually give us 0, but that may not be sufficient. If b is equals to 0, it also means y2 is equals to 0, and y times 0 times x will give us 0. Now, if we say a is equals to 0 and b is equals to 0, what it means is this. If a is equals to 0, it means x is 0 too and y is 0. And 0 times 0, have you asked yourself that fraction? 0 times 0. what could be the answer? And some of us are hearing for the first time. Okay, let me give you some time to think about it. What is 0 times 0? Because 0 divided by 0 is not possible. So what is 0 times 0? I will answer that. Now the next one is if A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. Now, if A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0, will this hold? Now the best argument for this question is actually option D, because we actually do not know the value of x and y, but we know for us to actually get 0 here, one of these terms just needs to be 0. The 2 doesn't necessarily need to be 0. That is why this cannot actually be the answer. The 2 doesn't necessarily need to be 0. What I mean by the 2, the x and y doesn't need to be 0. So if one of them can just be 0, then x multiplied by y will be 0. So it's either a is 0. Take note, when a is 0, it means x is 0, and this holds. One of them is 0. Or b is 0. When b is 0, it means y is 0 too. So x and y is 0. So this is the best answer. Now let's go to question number 4. If a plus b equals to 7 and c plus d equals to 5, then what is a plus b minus c minus d? I'm talking like Mr. Oscar. I don't know if I actually sound like or act like him. So the first one is minus 4, the second a minus 4, b 2, c minus 2, and d 4. The time starts now. Time's up. Mr. Awesome, how can we solve this in 5 seconds? It's actually simple. This is a plus b, which is 7. This is minus c minus d. What was done? This term was actually multiplied by minus sign, minus 1. If I multiply this by minus 1, what I have is minus c minus d. Then here becomes minus 5. So 7 minus 5 is 2. So the answer is 2. Then let's see the last one. Question number 5. Simplify this. X squared minus 2x all divided by x squared plus x minus 6. The time starts now. Time's up. How can we solve this in 5 seconds? When I was reading, you can just go through your work as fast as possible. Now, this is how to actually solve this. This first guy, x squared minus x, if you factorize it, all you have is x into the bracket x minus 2. So we have x minus 2 inside the bracket. This one, if you factorize it, at this point you should know that we'll have the answer we'll get here is, because I'm having this minus 6, what I'll have is, and I have plus x here, so it will be plus 3 minus 2. Plus 3 minus 2, yeah, plus 3 minus 2. So if you factorize it, we're going to have x plus 3, then into the bracket x minus 2. So x minus 2 up cancel x minus 2 down. So what we'll have is we'll have x all divided by x plus 3. So the answer is A. So that is how to solve it. Okay, number 5. Find the HCF of a squared bx plus ab squared x and a squared b minus b cubed, and your time starts now. Okay, what is the answer here? Okay, I'll give you time to solve it, but the answer is option C. B into the bracket A plus B. B into the bracket A plus B. The reason is because we have B into the factorized, I have B into the bracket A plus B here. Now this A square and B cube, I can have A square and B square, then plus a B here. I can have different of 2 square here, so the answer is actually this. So this, okay, I think I have some practice questions for you to practice. So these are the practice questions. Now you can actually get this PowerPoint material I use for this lesson. You can get it from Just Media, or you can just contact me. That is my email address on the screen for you to actually get the material. Thank you very much. I trust we'll have a very nice time with this topic. See you in the next model. Thank you for staying with me and have a nice day. Bye.